our first alumnus president. She's a first-generation college graduate and came to us from Alaska. She has graced Pacific with 32 years as a student, professor, dean, and now we are lucky enough to have her as our own president. Let's give a warm Rotary welcome to Jenny, president.
Oh, and I guess I get free brags, right? Because I brought slides. But Go Boxers, our men's wrestling won last night. We beat Linfield. And we're very proud. I did bring some patches, so I will put it in on the end. But we're really fortunate to host the Forest Grove High School wrestling team as well as the Glencoe team. So great to have hopefully future boxers in the audience. So 50 years of concourse, 175 years of Pacific University. Wow. So it's a big year for all of us. And we'll be rolling out some special plans that will definitely involve the community, and I'm really thrilled. Also to say happy Black History Month too. So thank you for allowing me to be back here, give a little bit of update. You know, really I only have a few minutes, so it's really hard for me to pick all of the amazing things that are happening. And I just gave you like a smattering, and we can invite you back to tell you more. Yes, Jenny.
Just to remind you, it's not only 175 for the university, it's not just 50 for the Concord. This club will be 100 years old in September.
Wow, big birthdays. I love it. Lots of cake in the future. So, you know, I thought, well, I'll talk about some things that are a little bit aligned with the club and the values and the things that we typically talk about, and just give you insight into a little bit how Pacific also supports and how our missions align. And this past year, we launched a new endowment, or a new fundraising opportunity, and it's the President's Global Scholars Fund. And we are supporting not only academic programs that students are receiving credit, but also short-term study abroad. And this past year, we had 31 students just on the tail end of COVID participate in a study abroad program. 114 students participated in some sort of travel course. So we have a lot of mission trips through our health professions. I know you've had the College of Optometry and Amigos have provided programming before. Our other colleges that provide healthcare go to Costa Rica, Guatemala, all sorts of different places in the world. And this year we are expecting 164 of our students will participate. And I'll tell you, my initial goal as a president was to be able to break down a barrier for anyone that has, any student that wants to have, I'm calling it a cross-cultural immersion experience, the ability to go somewhere and be immersed in another culture. Like, I'm so excited about what you're all doing. That we're going to take away the barrier of finances. So hence, you're going to hear a lot about fundraising for international travel, but also there are domestic opportunities in the United States where our students really could benefit from service learning and at the same time understanding, you know, what the world is like on a more global scale. So well, I'm really excited about how successful our international programs have been. We are once again the #1 research institute in the Northwest. Yes, this is our little Pacific University, and we are in the top 12 on the West Coast. We had to be below Stanford and Cal Poly and those, but once again, our faculty and student researchers have brought in an incredible amount of grant funding. And #1 private institution, we're in Oregon, we're just behind University of Oregon, OSU, OHSU, and then Pacific University. So we're very excited about that. In this past year, we had over $21 million in grant activity. So that's grants that are projects that are going out and potentially being slated to be awarded over the coming years, which right before I left for California, what was that, 5 years ago, I think our research portfolio was somewhere around $2 million, and we're up to $21 million now, which is pretty remarkable. This past summer, we hosted a group of students for a kind of an immersion camp on our Hillsborough campus. primarily hosted by the College of Health Professions, but there are actually 14 different schools and departments that provided an experience for 25 ethnically diverse high school students to come to our campus and learn about all of our different health professions and ways to see themselves as a future healthcare provider. And obviously, for me, it was help them see themselves as a future boxer. That was a collaboration with the Oregon Healthcare Workforce that also has office space on our Hillsborough campus, and we consider to be part of our Pacific community. So we fully expect that will expand in the coming years. We have a lot of interest from a wide variety of our programs who are asking us, can we have 50 students? Can we host 100 students? And yeah, we can do anything. So we'll just be thinking about how we're going to make that happen. We do have some new programs, and I'm going to start at the bottom because I'm very proud. This was one of my brags. Our new director of our Master of Nonprofit Leadership also just graduated in our first cohort of the MNL just a week and a half ago, Amy Tracewell. We also, this past fall, had our first class, our first cohort in our new engineering physics. And I was paying attention. We have astrophysics as a major. We might have a connection in Houston.
Let's talk.
Yeah, let's do that. And then we did graduate our first class of our Doctor of Healthcare Science. So that's a kind of a degree completion program to allow primarily practitioners to have professional development and attain a doctoral degree from some profession that they may have had a bachelor's or a master's degree previously. So that first cohort. And then we do have some new programs. The School of Pharmacy launched the very first 5-year hybrid program. And this allows students to actually work and expand their curriculum over a longer period of time so it's less intense. And they can be practicing working as pharmacy technicians or however else they want to make a living at the same time going to school. And we've had, I can tell you how many different universities have approached us to have a copy of our curriculum. And we did matriculate our very first cohort this fall. So we're thinking about ways to provide education that is relevant right now and over the next 5 to 10 years. And this is one of the kind of innovative ways that we're doing it. We also have something new, and Jeff, I'll be curious to know what you think about this. We are the 4th dental therapy program in the nation to be approved. So this is a expanded scope of practice for dental hygienists, and the purpose is to really provide, I think, access to care where there aren't dentists to actually serve those communities. So Pacific, we're proud. We are only the 4th in the nation. It is not a program that allows current practicing dental hygienists to go back to school. It's an extension of our existing dental hygiene program. So they have an additional. Were you going to provide a comment? Did I address?
Well, I'm a part-time faculty over there.
Great!
So I know all about the program.
Thank
It's awesome.
you.
That's a great group over there.
They are amazing. Thank you. I can't wait to meet your son. This summer, I would say not just this summer, I would say ever since Blake Tim came back to Pacific, we have been on a media roll. And every day I'm more proud to be a member of this community because every time I turn the TV on, there's somebody being interviewed from Pacific. And I know that Blake has really cultivated pretty incredible relationships with the media since he's been back. And we've had faculty win awards. An example, Dr. Monteblanco, she has done quite a bit of work on heat mapping and understanding, particularly when we went through those heat spells this summer. She also was named one of the top 40 under 40 by the Portland Business Journal. Our financial aid director has been interviewed recently about the changes to the FAFSA. We've had the College of Education was on KGW for our RTL, our hybrid licensed teacher prep and licensure program. And we could go on and on and on. I actually started with about 5 slides and I went, we don't have time for that. So just Google Pacific in the news and you're going to see all of these amazing things that we've been doing. Thank you so much for, I say you expand our spirit. Okay, we've got some construction projects done, hence you're back here eating in the UC. And the vegan donuts are out of this world, by the way. I ate them first. That's why there's lettuce left. Milky Way, that historic building, we call it, it's kind of like, it looks like REI on the Jeep. It does, it's awesome. It looks like REI, not on the Jeep. And it's actually open to the public. We have our outdoor pursuits housed there. We have our outdoor leadership major now at Pacific. And then we provide equipment, you know, we students and faculty go on excursions. But it's a little known fact that we actually rent all of that equipment. And if you have kayaks or golf clubs or things that maybe you don't use and you don't know what to do with, we do take donations of some of those things. So if over spring break you're going to clean out your garage and you finally accepted that you're not going to go rowing every weekend and you don't know what to do with the oars that are in your garage, we'd be happy to take a look at it. So spread the news about that as well. But if you want to participate in any of our outdoor pursuits, or if you want to rent equipment yourselves, we provide that. So if you ever get the chance to pop in or look in the windows, there's a full kitchen in there now. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, beautiful space. And we found some pretty fun things in the walls. So it was a gas station at one point. I mean, it was a creamery. We call it the Milky Way.
It started as a garage. It burned down with the rest of downtown. But it's a garage again, a creamery, a grocery store, and then Pacific took it over as a concert venue, and now it's all of our outdoor programs.
All of our outdoor pursuit programs. It is. It's very exciting. And then, drum roll, the old library that some of us used to study in, I have a lot of memories when I walk in the building that I see out my window. We are officially going to do a ribbon cutting and name what was temporarily Pacific Hall will be Lessacoin Hall in honor of 1969 graduate and 9-time U.S. Congressman Lessacoin. This is a gentleman who I can say with 100% confidence has furthered civil discourse in this country, and we couldn't be prouder to have him as an alumnus and have him as a friend in a way to honor him in a really significant and special way. So we're anticipating we'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony sometime, I think in September, right? Amy, is what we're thinking about. But that's hence why you were not able to have Rotary here, because this was used as a classroom, it was a conference room. Pretty much every usable space on this campus was repurposed for the last 9 months. Feel free to walk through. It's absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful space. We have state-of-the-art classrooms in there, computer classrooms for our engineering students and all of our other students. Our clubs are in there, the Student Multicultural Center, the Center for Gender Equity, the Click is in there still. It's a beautiful, very functional space, and it's earthquake proof, which is not the fun part. And everyone's like, well, my office is a tiny bit smaller, and I'm like, yes, but it's still going to be standing in 175 more years. So safety is really, really important. But I'm really glad we were able to do it in a really lovely way, and that we get to honor someone incredibly special, not only to Pacific, but to our entire state and our country. So more to come on that. So I was asked just to mention enrollment. I know you can have a present in front of you without talking about enrollment. And yes, times have changed. I gave you a bit of an update, I think a year ago, and I had said our enrollment had dropped 5% from the previous year. We dropped another 2% from fall of 22 to fall of 23 overall university. We felt it, all 5 colleges had a shift in enrollment, either in new student enrollment or in retention. And so I like to say, well, we're not dropping as rapidly, so we're figuring out how to adapt in the environment that we're in. The 5-year pharmacy program is a good example of something that happened 100% in a very fast way to be innovative and to make sure that we continue to fill our class and really meet the demands of the workforce. I mean, I think you wait longer at a pharmacy line than you did for the chicken nuggets here, which, by the way, Wednesday is chicken tender day at Pacific, and it's the most popular thing on our menu. So we'll have to plan around that. The lines are always going to be longer. We have seen a drop in a lot of our popular health professions. Don't worry about that. It's fine. And but this year we actually increased in our number of new freshmen from the previous year. And retention slipped a bit in our undergraduate programs. We're still trying to figure out how can we best engage students today, and what is it that you're really excited about, and what keeps you feeling like you belong. And we're learning we need to have activities at different times, and we're doing new things that we hadn't done for a while because, quite frankly, because of the pandemic. So I think we're seeing a return. All indication, it looks like as we move ahead to this spring semester, it looks like retention might be a little bit better than it was last year, but I can't know until we have our census data. You've heard news, probably on the news, about the FAFSA, and we're worried about it. It's glitchy. We're really worried about our first generation students. We're worried about students that have parents that are undocumented and not being able to complete the form. Right now, I don't know if any of you subscribe to the Wall Street Journal, you saw that the drop in completion rate of the FAFSA is about 50%. 700,000 students have filled it out this year across the U.S., and the normal number at this time is 1.5 million. So we're doing everything we can to get in communities to help people complete the FAFSA, say, okay, if it didn't work today, we're coming back, we're going to help you in the future. So it really is all hands on deck to help our students really make sure that they have the option to go to college and tap into financial aid. So I'll come back next year and give you an update, but I'm in celebration mode. It's 175 years, and we're doing all of the things that we need to be doing. We're marketing, we're telling our story in ways that we hadn't before, and I fully believe that it'll pay off. So this is what we're facing. I'm not sure if I showed you this last year, but if you've heard the term the demographic cliff, there were fewer human beings born during the last recession, so that means there will be fewer high school graduates starting, well, it's already started a little bit in some areas of the country, but the demographic cliff is expected to hit around 2025. And that means the birth declines mean that we've got a drop in potential future students to go to college, future graduates that can be out in the workforce, that have specific credentials that are needed. So we're trying to address that as much as we possibly can. The Northwest is probably going to be the last that's hit by it, just based on birth rates. The South and the West, right now, we're still in a little bit of a growth mode, but starting in 2030-ish, that's when the Northeast is really going to see a drop. And I'll tell you, colleges in the Northeast and in the Midwest are really grappling. They're already starting to feel this. So it's a national phenomenon. It's not unique to Pacific. So we're doing everything we can to make sure that we're structurally set up to provide the type of education that I benefited from. Some of you in this room are our alumni, and that our community has really shared a partnership with moving forward. Last thing I wanted to touch on, and then I'll open up to questions, is athletics, and just give you insight into how important athletics has become to Pacific University in our undergraduate population. 41% of our undergraduates are involved in either JV or varsity athletics. And what is staggering to me is it has become our way of recruiting men to come to college. And we have found that 54% of our brand new students are athletes, and of the men that come to Pacific, 59% are athletes. And this fall, for the first time, we had almost a 50-50 men versus women split in our demographic profile. So it's helped us, athletics has really helped us recruit individuals who identify as men to come to Pacific. I take it so far as it's future democracy in our country is the Stoller Center. Because that's how we're going to attract diverse perspectives to come to college, and we can help with critical thinking and help people learn the process of how to think. So it's pretty remarkable how important it has become to us. I know we occupy Lincoln Park a lot, and that affects the entire community. It really is one of our secrets to success. And as a D3 institution, our student athletes are extremely good students. We do have a strategic plan we're about to put in front of the Board of Trustees, so I can't give you all of the deep insight yet because they haven't approved it. It's gone through our governance. We do have 3 themes. Priorities, we're going to empower our people so that we can continue to have an empowered institution. We are going to put in systems and things that help us thrive, and we're going to continue to advance. And equity, diversity, inclusion, accessibility, innovation, collaboration, pursuit of justice, and sustainability are woven throughout all of our themes. Number 1, we want to continue to be a best-in-class university for learning. And to me, that means we're going to increase our graduation rates compared to our peers. We want to be a best place to work. We're reaffirming our commitment to EDIA, and we're going to embrace innovation. Our systems, we could probably communicate, get rid of a few pieces of paper, so we're going to look at structurally how we operate. We're going to continue to strive to be an inclusive environment for everyone. We want to be a community that really does talk to one another, and we do seek each other out for collaboration and community. And then I really believe in having desirable spaces and places where people can do the things that they love, how they learn, how they practice, how they perform, how they compete. So we'll be looking at everything from under the trees to inside the walls, as well as how we talk to one another in our spaces. And then we are going to have a robust culture of philanthropy at Pacific. And when we say that we really want to cultivate a community of mission champions, that's everyone from someone who receives a paycheck at Pacific to our alumni, to our donors, to our community members, that we all believe in the mission and it makes sense for us, and we really want to strengthen our community relationships. And then we're going to tell our stories. We've already got a big launch of that, and so we'll continue our community engagement. We'll keep collaborating with the Rotary. I'm proud we're going to continue to host the concourse on our campus as long as you want to come here. And now you don't have to worry about that big fence, and there's a lot more room and hopefully less muddy. So I couldn't even remotely touch on everything amazing, but I appreciate the opportunity to do a little bit of bragging. And I don't know, is there time for me to answer a question?
And then we have a little presentation.
Yes.
How's the recruiting coming in the islands? This past spring, we went to American Samoa, and we were actually amazed that for the kids on the island, if they don't join the military, then they have to join a church to get off the island. And you need more Samoans on the front line of the football team. So I'm just wondering how that's all working in the Pacific.
Yeah, you know, I'll be honest, I haven't asked for an update from the Hawaii office of how it's going for next year. I can tell you, the incoming class, we had 90 some students came from Hawaii. We lost some after the fires, and it was heartbreaking. And some of the students that left in the fall, they've come back, or they're coming back for the spring. I don't have an updated where it's at. I haven't gotten around to asking about that, but that's a really good question, and thank you for that insight. Because we have nothing but opportunity for more wins on our football team.
You need more Samoans on the front line.
Okay.
Okay. All right, well, we have